Greetings, YouTube. The doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Marvel Contest of Champions. And today, we're going to talk about all the controversy that is going on with the root cause and effect, I guess you could call it. So this is the Baron Zemo Root adjustment that Kabam made without telling anybody, even though they say they told us. So in the forums, there is a thread right now called Rank Down Tickets for Zemo and Kraven. We'll go back here. Rank Down Tickets. So if you go all the way to the first page, here's the first entry for July 12th. They're two of my favorites sitting at rank 5 because I love their root mechanic. Yet the last patch completely ruined them by allowing opponents to special 3 out of root. So before this patch, which came through on Wednesday, if an opponent was rooted and they tried to special 3, they would still be rooted. So which basically shut down their special 3. So the change is significant enough to turn them into bad champions. So I want to request the infamous rank down tickets if this change is here to stay. Now, I don't think that this is that bad of a change. But I think this was on either page 11 or page 12. But Kabam Miike finally comes back in. Here he is right here on the 14th. So it took him 2 days to finally respond. So there were changes made to Kraven and also to Baron Zemo that we were not told about. And we have been told that they will let us know, that is they, as in Kabam, will let us know if a change is taking place to a champion before it happens. And they didn't. The change just happened and a bunch of people noticed it. Now, Kraven came out over a year ago, and any change they make to him is past the balancing point. So that is not cool. Now, they're telling us that they told us that there was a change coming. So let's go through this from Kabam Miike. We're not going to read the whole thing, but we'll read some of it. So first, we want to apologize for the situation. It was not our intent to leave any of this information out of our release notes, because they were not in the release notes, or make any changes silently. And they made changes silently. They sure did. We do not purposely make silent changes. They've made tons of silent changes. Everybody remember what happened with Mole Man? That was a big silent change. But there are processes in place that in this case didn't work, and information was not disseminated the way it should have been. So they didn't tell us, and he's admitting that they didn't tell us. And just like somebody put in one of their emails into an in-game offer announcement, they're doing it again. So back in January, Zemo was heading out the door. So we're going to go through that. Zemo was introduced in January. Someone made an offhand comment about how the defender's heavy bias, while rooted, seemed really reliable in keeping the opponent from throwing specials, to the point where they couldn't remember it ever not working. No AI bias should ever be 100%, and that was not the intent with which we had been building characters. Our engineers informed us that the root fully special locked the defender, preventing all 3 special attacks, and always had. This was a problem because there is a big difference between designing a character that reduces specials and grants openings, and designing a character that prevents them. So they didn't like Zemo, and so they changed it with this update, and they didn't tell anybody. Now, Kabam Miike is really stretching here to tell us that he did inform all of us. And it's like saying, well, I sent a letter to your house telling you that something was going to happen. It's not my fault that you didn't get the letter, that kind of thing. So how did we miss this? First, we announced that Zemo was bugged via the Trello board. I didn't even know that there was such a thing that existed, and I'm going to bet that a bunch of people also don't know that that existed either. So, it wasn't on this forums. It wasn't in the news section that's up at the top in the categories. It wasn't highlighted here like this known issue stuff was highlighted here. None of this was it was not put anywhere. It wasn't tweeted out. So it wasn't in any of the social media posts or forums that they normally put information out. This Trello board is not information. And we're going to look up the Trello board too. So this is why, first we announced that Zemo was bugged via the Trello board as quickly as we could. This is why we have created that board, so we can share identified bugs as soon as we know about them, regardless of if we know what the resolution will be. At the time, we were still having conversations about how the board fix needed to be, and so the listed bug only referred to Zemo. It doesn't even refer to Zemo, by the way. At the time, we were unaware of the extent to which players were relying on the existing interaction to use Kraven, or we would have mentioned him by name as well. It was very much our mistake for not understanding that, and we apologize. So when we did ultimately make the call that we were going to be fixing all root effects, we should have updated that post, but didn't have systems in place for doing so. It's because they laid off so many people. Obviously, because of emails that are getting cut and pasted and 1,250 mythic crystals that are getting put in place and teleport nodes that are getting put in place when they shouldn't be. We'll be amending our internal tracking process to make sure that the Trello board, there it is again, is better up to date with new developments going forward. Second, we decided not to discuss this in Zemo's rebalancing post because we sincerely did not consider it to be part of his rebalancing process. They should have done that. Absolutely. This is, in retrospect, another mistake on our part. Root locking the opponent was never one of his goals. Most players weren't doing it anyway, and we weren't holding the outliers against him when evaluating. So dealing with the current situation, because this bug was publicly announced via the Trello board during the 3-month window where Zemo was subject to change, that's January to February, February to March, and March to April. We do not plan on to issue any rank down tickets for him, nor do we plan to offer any for Spider-Man, who is actually stronger after this change than before. However, because Kraven is an older champion and was not mentioned as affected by this bug in the past, we do plan to offer rank down tickets to anyone who ranked up a 5 or 6 star Kraven as of the time of this post. Only those that have ranked up Kraven prior to this post going live. So if you did it after yesterday, too bad, so sad, will receive rank down tickets. Okay, so what is this Trello board that he is talking about? Because it took me a little while to find it. I found a picture. So if you go up here to discussions, right here, there's a whole bunch of stuff that is listed in here. And down here, right here, it says introducing the MCOC Community Bugs and Issues Tracker. This is the Trello board. And it goes to a post here that talks about the board. And I don't even think it says the word Trello in here anywhere. Yeah, it doesn't even say the word Trello. The word Trello does not come in here at all. But there is a link at the bottom here. There it is. And it goes to this Trello page. See, it says Trello up here. And this is a public page that MCOC created. And they put issues. And there's nothing in these except for these little notes. So if I open this up, the only things here is the note and when the note was put in here. That was it. Now, we're talking gameplay. Specials can be canceled in ways they shouldn't. That is probably the note that got put in here about the root effect, which was canceling people's specials. And lo and behold, it was first added this card to other, which is over here. and then it got moved by Kabam Miike. So it got added in March. So January to February, February to March, within the 3 months that Zemo was introduced. And then Kabam Miike moved it on April 11th. So because of this right here, this is what he's talking about. And it doesn't say anything at all about Zemo in here. It just says specials can be canceled in ways they shouldn't. And they're being canceled by the root effect. So this is the Trello board that he is talking about. And you can see some of the latest gameplay things in here. So defenders are occasionally able to throw special in between heavy attacks. They had something on here about Arena. Here it is. Arena Express isn't letting players into the arena matches. This was put here on July 10th. AW attack phase is not kicking off correctly. Inconsistency in control inputs. But this is, all this is just notes in here. That's it. Gallons, Iron Mouth, Glow, VFX aren't active on devices. This was put in here. That's April 5th is the last champion bug they put in here. AW bans enabled on all AW maps. Some accounts don't receive solo objectives at Battleground season start. That was June 28th. Hulk Relic. Some are seeing their 10,000 shards, 7-star crystal with a cost of 15,000 visual bug. So when was that? That was on June 5th. So there's not a lot on here. It doesn't look like they're very active on here at all, except for maybe top issues, and that's about it. So that's the Trello board that he is mentioning here in this this post. And here it is right here. Now, how do I know when Zemo was introduced? Well, I go to Marvel.com, not MCOC, not Kabam.com, Marvel.com. And they have this thing up here called Games. And if you go to the Games page and you go all the way down here, there's a news part. You go to latest news. And you can go to news for Marvel Contest of Champions. And here's all the news right here. And I can hit next. So here's the live stream that we just got. Catch up on the Marvel game news from June. 250 champions live stream. So all their live streams are on here. The champion reveal for Danny Moonstar. So if we keep going... so here's the Sandman Shocker release, Black History Month release. There's 38.1 for Kate Bishop and Viv Vision. There's all the stuff for Ant-Man. And here it is right here, 37.2, Masters of Evil. There it is. There they are, the release notes. So this came out January 9th, 2023. So that's how we know that he came out in January. And then they talk about everything in here, what's coming in January. So that's where this comes in, where they say that it was done within 3 months because it was on the Trello board within 3 months. So that's how we're getting to all this stuff. I'm a little frustrated right now because of the communication issues and errors and lack thereof. So just wanted to kind of give that out there, a little news, and I hope everybody appreciated this video, and I will catch everybody later.